Okay, so this is the first section of the review, and I have these are levels of organization. You need to know these levels from the smallest through to the largest. So, first level, C, stands for cell. If you recall, the cell is the basic unit of life. All living things are made from cells, and all cells come from pre-existing cells. So, basic unit of life. The next level of organization, T, stands for tissue, which is groups of the same type of cell with a specific function. So epithelial tissue is tissue that covers the surface of, say, for example, the inside of your mouth. You have xylem, which is a tissue in a plant that has one job of transferring water from the roots up to the shoots. Phloem, on the other hand, is a plant tissue that transports phloem from leaves where it's made by photosynthesis to all the different structures that need glucose for cell respiration. The next one, O, stands for organ, which is a group of tissues with a specific purpose. And then we have OS, which is organ system, which is so we have the next one is the organ system, which are a group of organs working together, followed by the sum of all the organ systems, which is an organism. The next level is all of one type of organism, and that is a population. So it's just one type of organism, one species of organism. And remember, evolution happens at the population level. The next level is community. And this is where, when we were talking about symbiotic relationships, mutualism, commensalism, parasitisms, you're talking about at the level of a community, because you're talking about different populations and how they interact with each other. And so that's a community. And the final level of organization that you need to know about is the ecosystem. And the ecosystem is the interaction of the living things, which are biotic, and the non-living things, which are abiotic, like temperature, light, space, nutrient availability, water, all of that kind of stuff. You do need to know cell, tissue, organ system, organism, population, community, and ecosystem. And they go from the simplest to the ecosystem, which is the most complex, because it's got the most different parts to it. It's got all the communities and all the non-living features. Moving on, I'm going to move on to this one here. Pull that up. Photosynthesis and respiration. I have told you this probably a billion times over the course of the last year, that you need to know, 100% need to know, the equation for respiration and the equation for photosynthesis. So let's just start off by doing this bit. And you also need to know that what you use in photosynthesis is what is produced in respiration. And what you produce in photosynthesis is used in respiration. So, starting from the top, in the equation for photosynthesis, we need carbon dioxide. Plants absorb carbon dioxide through their leaves from the air. And you need water. Plants absorb water into their roots by osmosis. It's carried up the vessels called xylem to the leaves, where it goes to chloroplasts. This is a chloroplast, and a chloroplast is an organelle that contains a green pigment called chlorophyll. And chlorophyll has one job, and that is to absorb energy from the sun. The energy from the sun drives photosynthesis. And that energy that's absorbed by the chlorophyll in the chloroplast is used to take carbon dioxide, and it takes 6 lots of carbon dioxide and 6 lots of water, and it converts it into C6H12O6. This is glucose. This is what the whole purpose of photosynthesis is, to make glucose, which is a carbohydrate. And we also produce 6 lots of oxygen, which the plant can release back into the atmosphere. Now, cellular respiration is a process where we take the glucose that was made by photosynthesis, C6H12O6, and we react it with 6 lots of oxygen. So we have 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. It goes to an organelle in the cell called mitochondria, and mitochondria break the bonds of the glucose molecule. They break those bonds down to reconvert them into 6 lots of CO2 and 6 lots of H2O. So you see, the products of photosynthesis are the products of respiration are the reactants of photosynthesis, and the products of photosynthesis, the things which are made, are the things which are used, the reactants of respiration. Now, the whole purpose of doing this is to make 36 lots of ATP. This is what the cell uses to drive all of their processes. Anything that's active, anything that requires energy in a cell uses ATP. Now, while we're on the subject of this, if you look at that, you'll notice that there's oxygen here. That means that cell respiration is aerobic. It produces, for every 1 lot of glucose, we make 36 lots of ATP. If I take out the oxygen, I would do this, and I wouldn't make 36 lots, I'd make 2 lots of ATP. So it's very much more efficient to do aerobic respiration, where we use oxygen, than anaerobic respiration, where we don't use oxygen.